Hello everybody, welcome on back to baseball here on youtube.com/SeanandSourceDirects. I'm Sean, and 5 nights a week we're streaming baseball here on the channel inside MLB 11, the show on the PlayStation 2. Today we have 4 games of action as we always do. Cubs are taking on the Blue Jays, Rockies are in Chicago for the White Sox. Pirates are taking on the Twins, and the Diamondbacks are in Seattle to face off against the Mariners. And you can see there that Escobar is 0-1 with a 16.2 ERA. Somehow the Mariners will get shut out. Let's jump in to our first game, which I believe is the second game of the day. It is indeed the Cubs and the Blue Jays. Welcome on in, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Happy Sunday. I hope the Monday scaries haven't been too bad for you. I woke up this morning thinking it was Monday, and that sucked. Can I hit F and no? No, I gotta click it into that. Cool. I love YouTube streaming. Welcome on in, everybody. I did stream earlier this morning. Checked out Void Train for about 3.5 hours. Had a good time with that. Then we recorded our Thursday video. We're back in Power Wash Simulator 2. And then we're doing this, and then I think I need to actually record one more video after this. But we'll see if that happens. Chicago is 26-24. The Toronto Blue Jays are 24-24. And you stop pushing it off, but I you know, sometimes things happen. Yeah, there you go. This is actually a surprisingly good matchup. All of these matchups are wheel spin matchups, so we got a little bit lucky that the Cubs and the Blue Jays are both on the higher win-loss side than some of the other teams that we'll see today. But let's get you introduced to the Chicago Cubs starting lineup. Michael Bourne in center field, Martin Parado in left field. Troy Tulowitzki is at shortstop, J.D. Drew in right, Josh Tole is the catcher. Derek Barton at first. Freddie Freeman is your designated hitter. Alberto Calespo at third, and Ricky Weeks at second base. So I've been doing so much streaming that I feel like we're getting a lot of the same. I'm getting used to the names. Jason Marquis, 4-5, a 6.43 ERA, 9 games, 21 innings, 31, 6 and 12 hits, walks, and strikeouts. Nailed it. Damn. There's your Toronto Blue Jays defensive lineup. And Michael Bourne will get things led off for the Chicago Cubs. As we get ready to get underway for game number 1 today. Back tomorrow at 6 p.m. with more baseball. Tuesday and Wednesday as well. And then I assume I would probably plan on me doing that open mic, so we'll have to rotate the schedule around a little bit because I did just kind of do that randomly and then was like, you know what, I do enjoy this. Pitches outside for a ball. It's 2-0 quickly from the right-handed pitcher. That pitch misses inside. 3-0. So bad start here for the Toronto Blue Jays, as it has been 3 non-competitive pitches in a row. Got to be a hands-off controller moment here. He will indeed take ball number 4. So just like that, we see the leadoff runner on via 4 pitches that weren't close. That usually, I mean, you can get easy outs with the leadoff batters in an inning most of the time, but particularly the number 1 hitters are very aggressive with their swings. That's how bad those pitches were. That one is swung on and fouled away. First pitch that's actually in the zone, looked like it was right on that outside edge. Makes it 0-1. And that is going to be popped out towards the first base side. Doesn't get out of the area of play, and it'll drop softly into the first baseman's glove. So bad out. Nice patient at-bat by Chicago in the first at-bat, and then way too aggressive with the next at-bat. I can understand the thought process of like, well, he just walked the batter. There's no way he's going to want to throw pitches close to the edge. He'll just put something over the plate to get a strike, but if you're not on time, you're not on time. 0-1 to Tulowitzki after the foul ball. 3 straight swings from the Chicago Cubs. That's way outside. And a nice job to get a hold of it. And make sure it doesn't go to the backstop. 1-1. And we'll check on the runner at first. And they are safe. As they always are. We're about 2 weeks out or so from learning the cover athlete of MLB The Show 26. That is swung on and missed, and that means we're an extra week away from knowing the release date. Not my favorite thing. I mention it every time, but man, is it annoying. My prediction still stands. March 13th with the deluxe edition. That is fouled away. Which does mean that March Mascot Madness will start February 27th. I was doing some scheduling stuff the other day. That is rolled foul. Another check on the runner at first. He's still back in safe because they always are. Tulowitzki putting up a fight here. 1 on, 1 out. A 1-2 count in the top of the first. That is low for a ball. We can check a playoff football score. Been some really good games so far. One of them heartbreaking for me, but the games have been competitive. That's all you want during a wild card weekend. That's outside. Umpire calls full count, so we get a payoff pitch on the way. Interesting. I mean, these at-bats are so weird. Tulowitzki doing a really nice job here putting up a fight. He had 4 pitches that weren't really competitive. 2 aggressive swings of the next at-bat. And now it's a bit of a mix. Pitcher just looking for a payoff pitch. Trying to catch the first base runner off guard. I think 3-2 is probably the best count to try and fire over on. But even then, the animations are so bad that it just doesn't really work. Tulowitzki takes that pitch inside for ball 4. And the Blue Jays have a walk, an out, and a walk. Is this an out or a walk? Pattern would say walk. Or out, excuse me. Well, we'll see if J.D. Drew, the lefty, has anything to say about a 17 RBI on the season. That is hit. Third baseman fires to second. Here comes the turnover to first in time. And that will very quickly end the inning. Kind of abruptly. It was 1 out on a soft pop-up out to first base. 2 walks and then a grounder. One of the rare times of the game actually feels like it turned to double play. Let's get you set for the Toronto Blue Jays here. Johnny Damon, the lefty, is your number 1 hitter. He's the designated hitter. Derek Jeter at shortstop. Miguel Cabrera at first, Andre Ethier in right, Xavier Nady in left, Mike Aviles at third base, Juan Uribe at second, Lorenzo Cain in center, Rod Barajas. Barajas. He is the catcher. It's going to most likely be a lefty starting pitcher for the Chicago Cubs because the Toronto Blue Jays, we've seen enough. We know that they pulled David Ortiz out of the lineup. And Derek Jeter... Well, Doug Davis, 1-9 with a 4.94 ERA, 10 games with 27.1 innings pitched, 35, 6, and 15 hits, walks, and strikeouts. How close was I? I was spot on. Dead on. Hell yeah. So, Damon leads things off. Interesting to get that, just kind of that lefty-lefty. It's interesting that he's a lefty DH against a left-handed pitcher, but I think Ortiz usually holds that spot anyway, so they just might not have a good backup plan for that. Damon's going to get under this one and punch it into right field. But it will be too high up. It's 1 out. I don't know where I was going with that sentence. Derek Jeter a lot closer to the top of the lineup, which is what I was going to say before I talked about the the stats of the pitcher. One of the days I had this game roll in, it does the demo mode. Once you leave it on the main menu for too long. Derek Jeter leads off for the Yankees in this game, but he is usually in the 7 spot for this Toronto Blue Jays team. I don't really know why. But number 2 seems like a better spot for number 2. That is fouled away. 1-2 to Jeter. 1 gone here in the home half of the first. That is low for a ball. Makes it 2-2. Pitcher shakes off the catcher. He better be right as he winds and fires. Kind of slowly. He was wrong. He threw a ball. So a full count to Jeter. Saw the Toronto Blue Jays pitcher walk a couple of batters in the top of the first. Catcher sets up outside. Here comes the pitch. Jeter fouls that one away. We'll see another payoff pitch. Here comes payoff pitch number 2. The wind and the pitch is hit out towards right. It is going to drop. Right fielder put a good effort to try and get there, but just drifted away from him. Payoff pitch number 3. Catcher way inside on this one. And Jeter will put that into left field for a single, so I don't think that's the worst result. You got a good at-bat out of him. You didn't walk him. You make it easy. You fouled a couple pitches off. I think you're okay with that. You don't love it, but could have been worse. Miguel Cabrera is going to step in. Maybe not the guy you want to see after Derek Jeter. First pitch is going to be rolled into left field, past the diving third baseman. Will advance the lead runner just to second base. And they will put a runner in scoring position just like the Cubs did in the top of the first. Cubs hit into a double play. We'll see what Toronto can do. They're a lineup that every time we see them, I feel like we talk about the fact that they're a little bit disappointing, at least as far as the name value is concerned. And then, of course, every time I mention that, they go wild. So who knows? Who knows what we're going to get out of this team? The lefty is ready to face a lefty. It is high for a ball. Interesting. Thought he might have got him right at the letters, but no such luck. Here comes the 1-0. That is fouled away. Here comes the wind and the pitch. That's fouled away as well. Big old curveball misses low for a ball. That's a nice pitch. It looked pretty good out of the hand, but I think with the if you can identify that it's going to start low, it's going to stay low. Something that I definitely struggle with, especially if you're looking in that part of the zone. It's a good eye from the lefty. He'll drill this up the middle. He's going to be over to second for 1. The turn to first is in time for 2, and just like the Cubs, a double play suddenly ends the inning for the Toronto Blue Jays. The difference is Toronto picks up 2 hits rather than 2 walks. Still no score, and we'll head to the top of the second. Josh Tolley is ready to face the righty. He'll take a pitch high and outside for ball one. That is low for ball two. Now, Blue Jays pitcher did issue a walk to the leadoff batter in the top of the first, and he's not starting out well here against this leadoff batter here in the top of the second. If I'm the hitter for Chicago, I'm very patient here. Instead, he's going to put a swing on a pitch that was probably going to be low. It's not a terrible swing. I think it's a bad swing in the context of it's 2-0, and that's probably going to be a 3-0 count. But, I mean, you're looking for some decent contact, or at least got some decent contact there. Derek Barton stepping up. Here comes the wind and the pitch. That's in for a strike right on the edge. Oh, and one. One gone. The righty winds and fires. That is hit to the second baseman, who scoops it up and fires in time for out number two. Freddie Freeman. Oh, my goodness. A mere 100 average. Is Freddie Freeman a rookie in this game? I'll put a charge into that out to left field. It won't get anywhere near the wall. Right to the left fielder, who makes the grab, and that will do it. So Chicago still no hits through two turns. We'll head to the home half. And it'll be led off by Xavier Nady. 267 average. 3 home runs, 10 RBI. I mean, if you're the Blue Jays, if you can get one, you feel pretty good that you can get past this Chicago lineup with no hits. That is going to be rolled. Oh, my goodness. It's going to be picked up by the shortstop. Not in time. It was tighter than I thought it was going to be, in this game kind of screws the Chicago Cubs. That is an animation that I think most of the time the pitcher would get. It's a slow roller right back up the middle to him. I don't know why the game didn't give that animation. That is bizarre. Just enough hustle up the first base line. The shortstop with a good throw. The play was tighter than I thought it was going to be, with how slow that ball was and how far they had to come in for it. That pitch misses inside for a ball. Can't possibly think that that's an error on anybody. Bottom of the second. Lefty winds and fires. That is swung on and hit out towards left center. Way under it. And center fielder has plenty of time to make the catch. The throw is in to make the runner retreat back to first. Having a little bit of a conversation, discussion. Maybe some light smooching out there in the outfield. Juan Uribe. I always say Uribe. Uribe. As the lefty fires, that is going to be hit into right field. How aggressive are they going to be there? We'll just play station to station. Smart play. Throws pretty good. And the ball was, again, not the quickest roller. It's out to right field, but it doesn't get deep. Put a runner in scoring position. You have a couple different ways you could try and get him in. No reason to be out number 2 at third. Hey, walk-off. That is outside for a ball. Super busy, but wanted to say hello. Hit like on the screen. Hope your night goes well. Be good, bro. Hey, be good to you and yourself. Thank you so much for stopping by, saying hi, hitting that thumbs up. I appreciate it. Lefty ready, winds, fires, and low for a ball. Two and 0, 2 on, no score with 1 out. We're in the bottom of the second as the lefty winds and fires. That's going to be hit into left. That's going to give Toronto the lead, but how big will the lead be? It'll be 1 for sure. Will they send him around third? No. It'll be an RBI double, a 1-out RBI double. And Toronto gets the lead in kind of the spot that you would want it, late, like in the second inning. Don't give them a lot of time to respond. Rod Barajas. Barajas? Barajas. I feel like I'm saying it clunkier than it actually is pronounced. I thought about it. They're going to call the strike on him. I think it was right at the letters. Here comes the 0-1. Double play is not in order. And with 1 out, they can still get a sacrifice fly to drive the lead to 2-0. 0-2 doesn't really help after the foul ball. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is fouled away. And the lefty comes in with the pitch. It's a curveball that he spoils foul just up the first base line. Count still 0-2 here. That is fouled back. They have him in an auto swing mode. I think you can, if you're the pitcher, you can throw a waste pitch, throw something way outside, way low, even in the dirt. He is going for everything. They're going to set up way inside yet again. They kind of do what I was talking about. They move his feet. And he's able to at least hold back on the swing. And that moves the count to 1-2. Here comes the wind and the pitch. Inside for a ball. Two and 2. Got himself back into the count. Here's the 2-2 foul. At the first baseline, I bet he would want that one back. That is that looks like a hittable location. 1-0 in Toronto's looking for more. That is pushed out towards right field. It's going to get deep there toward the warning track. The catch is made. Both runners will advance. The cutoff doesn't bother to throw it in because it wasn't going to be in time. A nice plate appearance. He went down 0-2, took a couple pitches, worked that count back to 2-2, fouled off another pitch or two, and then put one into right field that allowed them to score one more run. 2-0 Toronto. I feel like that's just something we don't see a lot out of this game. We see a lot of swings, we see a lot of foul balls. But way too often it's just easy outs, or the computer makes a weird decision and sends the runner from third home and does that like weird contact, like force situation, and it's just not fun to watch. So that felt fun. Damon takes a strike right on the outside part of the plate. Makes it 1-1. 2 gone, a runner on third. As he winds, fires, and a swing and a miss from Damon. Cubs only down a bloop and a blast right now. I think they got to try and just keep it at that deficit. 2 runs is work withable. And gets the big swing and the miss. That's why I thought that pitch is a perfect example of what they thought they should have thrown to Barajas. And to be fair, they kind of did. They just threw it a little more inside instead of down out of the zone over the plate. Because Barajas was in quite the swing mode. Alberto Calespo is going to lead things off here for the Chicago Cubs, trailing 2-0 in the bottom of the third. Welcome on in, everybody. Thanks for hanging out on this lovely Sunday evening. That is hit to the shortstop. He bobbles it. That is the... Oh, boy. That is such a nail in the coffin for teams at times. Derek Jeter bobbles it. That animation is absolutely brutal. It should be one out, and this game punishes you for not getting those outs. Pardon me. However, if Toronto, excuse me, if Toronto can turn 2, they'll be all right. Hold on, we gotta take a. Do save me, Mountain Dew. Here's the pitch. It's outside for a ball. So 2-0 in a 2-0 game. The righty winds and fires. That's inside. That misses as well. Three and 0. And there's a strike. The automatic makes it 3-1. Good take. I mean, it's a hands-off controller move right there. Just let it happen. Here comes the 3-1. It's on the outside corner for a strike. Full count now. Here comes the payoff pitch. It is fouled away. That's foul. That's foul. So Chicago still with no hits because that will be charged as an error. That is hit number 1. And they will hold that lead runner at second. So Toronto not off to a great start. 2 on, nobody out. Michael Bourne. Bourne. Jason Bourne's brother steps up. Did a Bourne movie come out this year? 2011? I want to say yes. I want to say it's the Jeremy Renner one. The Bourne Identity. 2002. That is fouled away. Bourne franchise. Here we go. Ooh, I was off by a year. Darn. That's unfortunate. The Bourne Legacy is the Jeremy Renner film. It was in 2012. God, you know anything about movies, you idiot? Me. Just me yelling at myself. Friggin' dummy. How could you not know that that movie came out in 2012? It was definitely an early 2010s movie. This is going to be hit out to left field. The left fielder picks it up, acquires the out. The throw in wasn't terrible. The cutoff just is so bad. This game is so clunky. It like there is a lack of fluidity in every aspect of this version of the game. I'll check on the runner at first. He's safe. He always is. We have 5 ejections, 0 successful pickoffs, and they keep trying. Toronto needs to turn 2 here. That is outside for a ball. Toronto in the fight in the AL East. They are chasing down the Yankees. Cubs are in a crowded NL Central, though I think it's gotten a little bit... Oh my goodness, that throw was so bad. I think it's gotten a little more separation. Pirates, Cubs, and... That is hit to the shortstop. Jeter makes up for it. That should be out number 3. Instead, it's a run-scoring out number 2. And it'll bring up Troy Tulowitzki, who's worked a walk today. So the Cubs, the Pirates, and not the Brewers. The Reds have fallen apart. The Cardinals were never in it. The Astros. I believe the Astros would be the number 1 team in this division, but it's tight between the Pirates and the Astros specifically. So the wind and the pitch is low. So we should have game over. Should be a 2-0 win for Toronto. But the error comes around to cost Jeter. Make it 2-1. Here's the pitch. It is hit foul up the first base line. That pitch misses low. The righty is ready. Tulowitzki punches it. It's right to Jeter. Jeter steps over, fires to first in time. The run does come around to score, but Jeter makes the plays when it counts the most. Securing outs number 2 and 3 to secure a Toronto Blue Jays victory 2-1. It was only going to leave runners on the corners if anything got weird. But it's an unnecessarily tight win for the Toronto Blue Jays. Jason Marquise is your player of the game. 3 innings, 1 hit, no strikeouts. He improves to 5-5, and Doug Davis falls to 1-10, excuse me. No saves, no home runs. Toronto scores 2 in the bottom of the second. Chicago scores 1 in the top of the third. And how big is that sacrifice fly? Talked about how good that at bat was from Barajas, and it comes up even bigger at the end. Toronto salvages the series. They lost 5-0, 4-0, something like that. Yikes. Let's get you caught up on the one other game that's happened so far. Orioles over the Nationals. Both teams now 24-27. 1-0 your final there. We're going to skip down just a little bit to the Rockies and the White Sox. The Rockies have been an interesting story throughout the season. They have had control of the National League West from the very early parts of the season until just a few days ago, where the Arizona Diamondbacks have taken over. So they have been slipping and sliding a little bit. The Diamondbacks have been able to make something out of it. The Padres and the Dodgers not really, and the Giants have been kind of out of it for a while. Take a look at your AL West standings. Big game for the Mariners. They play the Diamondbacks later tonight. 1.5 lead over the Angels. Welcome on into U.S. Cellular Field as I flip the thumbnail. The Rockies 4 games over 500 at 27-23. The White Sox 8 games under 500 with just 20 wins and 28 losses. We are almost out of the month of May, which means we have just over a month of games left. Shane Victorino is going to lead things off. He's the center fielder for the Colorado Rockies. Stephen Drew is at shortstop. Torrey Hunter's in right. Carlos Pena playing first base. Mark Reynolds is at third. John Jaso behind the dish. Juan Rivera is in left field. Bill Hall at second. Michael Saunders is your designated hitter. Thanks again to everyone for hanging out. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up on the video. Helps the channel. For easy way to support the channel. If you're new, subscribe. Please consider subscribing. If you've been here for a while, thanks for stopping by. Joe Blanton, 1-7 with a 4.98 ERA, 8 games, 21.2 innings pitched, 29, 5, and 17 hits, walks, strikeouts. So we have April 1st to May 30th. Shane Victorino, a 4.12 average, which is what? Let's go days between dates, month, April, day, 11, no, 1, 2011. Oh, 5, 30, 2011. 59 days. Hold on, that might not count. It's technically 60 days because I needed to include. So we have 60 days, minus 3 for the All-Star break. It's 57 days. And then there's 2 days where there were 1 game and 2 days where there were 3 games. So that takes off, so it'd be what, 55 times 4? Something like that? But that also includes today. So maybe actually it'd be 54 times 4. 216. This is game number 218 that we've commentated so far this year. That'll be popped over to the third base side. The wind's actually going to blow it back into fair territory, which is kind of wild. Those are some of the funkier ones where it looks like it's going to be one of those plays. It's going to be in the foul grounds, and then you just watch the wind blow it back in. You're like, okay. That's how the afternoon will get started for the Rockies. Nice pitch there at the knees to get the strike. 0-1. Pitcher winds and fires. That is hit well up the first base line, but foul. Oh and 2. As the righty winds. That is hit out to left field, but the wind. Oh, it's going to be a diving attempt. He's not going to get there. It's going to roll to the warning track, and he is going to hit second and sprinting to third. That was a bold dive. I actually am a little surprised that he needed a dive with how we saw that sky-high pop-up come back into fair play for the third baseman. And then he went for the dive. I actually kind of thought that the angle that he took was going to blow the ball back into his glove, but no. It is a missed dive attempt, and it rolls all the way to the wall and results in a triple. That goes from a single to a triple because of one player's decision. Torrey Hunter steps up with a runner on third and 1 gone, so he has a couple different ways to get him in. How about just a single right up the middle of the center? That'll work. Bing, bang, boom. 1-0 Colorado. With how good a couple of teams are in the NL East, your best bet for the West might be to win, or probably will be to win the division. Marlins and the Phillies. Both the Phillies, it's interesting, the Phillies and the Rockies both started out really strong, just in general, but they've been slipping a little bit. And it's a team that's just been kind of lurking in second has been able to pick up first place. It's made the wild card race a little more interesting. 1-0 here with 1 gone. A check over to the runner on first. He is safe. Nice save by the first baseman. Otherwise, might have been able to get an extra 90 feet, though I kind of doubt it. Either way, still a good save. We'll take a pitch inside for a ball. Here's a 2-0. It's low. The 3-0 is, I don't know about that. It seemed a little A little outside to me. Could be the angle of the game, but sometimes that strike zone feels like it is a little wider or taller on a 3-0 count. Here comes the 3-1. Right back in the same spot again. Thought that was going to be ball 4. It's a full count. He will put a swing on that. It'll go out to left or center field. The center fielder makes the leaping, or lunging, not the leaping, the lunging grab. We get a great look at those incredibly pixelated outfield walls. The wind and the pitch is low for a ball. So, pitcher falls behind the previous batter 3-0. Able to get a couple of strikes on that outside corner that I don't necessarily agree with. And then a fly out for out number 2. And then he falls behind this batter 1-0. Pretty aggressive swing there on a pitch on the outside part of the plate. Swung on and missed. It'll be a strike, 1-1. And that is swung on and missed for strike 2. Here comes the 1-2. It is going to be hit right to the third baseman. He'll go the short way to second for some reason. Interesting decision. I think he'd probably just try to go to first in that scenario, but it works out for him. Colorado picks up 2 hits, scores 1 run, and we will introduce you to the Chicago White Sox lineup right now. Ryan Rayburn stepping up first. It's an all-ready lineup with the exception of the last hitter. Rayburn's in center field. Maglio Ordonez is in right. Albert Pujols at first base. Manny Ramirez in left. He was a recent trade acquisition from St. Louis. Scott Rowlands at third. Yorvit Torrealba at the catching position. Ben Francisco, who should play for San Francisco, is your designated hitter. Sean spells his name correctly. Rodriguez at second base. And Jed Lowry, the lone switch hitter, is the shortstop. Lefty pitcher for... No, it's Giovanni Gallardo. 6-4, a 5.19 ERA, 10 games, 26 innings pitched. I got thrown off by how to say his name. It'll be 31, 14, and 22. You can see my confused face. But it'll be Ryan Rayburn stepping in for the White Sox to lead things off. That is outside for a ball. Here comes the 1-0. That is hit well out to left center field, but center fielder runs over to make the grab. Shane Victorino with a nice start for this Colorado Rockies defense. Maglio Ordonez. 4 home runs, 12 RBI. He'll step in. And that is it to the third baseman, who makes a nice snag at the hot corner, fires across the diamond in time for out number 2. Six home runs for Albert Pujols. Good number of RBI as well. And I believe a stolen base. Let's go Pujols. Yeah, 1 stolen base. Good for him. That is outside for a ball. Pujols fooled me a little bit with that. The way he kind of drops that bat. Looks a little Soto Shuffle-esque, but it is not. Not the same thing. Here comes the pitch. It's inside for a ball. 2-0. to the powerful Pujols. It's interesting because you would think that Chicago would have made that trade. It's a weird trade because Chicago's not playing particularly well, the White Sox. And the Cardinals, who they acquired Ramirez from, have been out of it for a while, it seems. Hello, welcome to the stream. So it was kind of a funky trade between a team that's out of it and a team that doesn't really feel like it has much of a shot. So with 2 outs, they do pick up a hit to put a runner on first. It's a nice piece of contact from Pujols. And that'll bring up the trade acquisition Ramirez. He'll take a strike to go 0-1. Big curveball misses just below the knees. 1-1. And he tries to do it again. A good eye by Ramirez. Make sure to take that. 2-1. Righty winds and fires. Big swing and a miss on a pitch inside. Should have been 3-1, but instead it's 2-2. Righty's going to set. Ready. Fires that one outside. Probably could have been a walk, but unfortunately the swing and miss really threw everything off in the at-bat. 2-2. Or 3-2, excuse me. A runner on with 2 gone. They're going to put the runner in motion as the curveball is belted out to right field. It's going to hit the wall. The right fielder comes up with it, throws it in as they send the runner around third. The relay is late. Though with how awful some of these sliding animations are, it is a much closer play than you might think. Ramirez drives that to the perfect spot in the outfield away from the right fielder. They were playing him to pull it. He slices it away from everybody, and that makes it a 1-1 game. Oh no, did the probable bots leave? Two chatbots entered at the same time, said the same thing, is that it's going to drop into left field. It's going to roll all the way to the wall. They're going to send the lead, or the runner, Ramirez, all the way around to home. It'll be an RBI double. 2 out run damage. What are the words that I'm trying to say? They'll trade places, and Yorvit Torrealba will look to keep the good things, the good times rolling. 2 out runs here for the White Sox in the bottom of the first. Big old curveball. He keeps getting punished with that, and he's still throwing it. It's going to be interesting to see if Colorado can strike back in the top of the second. And how much will they need to strike back? Oof, they're going to get bailed out there. It's another one of those curveballs that he left a little too high in the zone. Thankfully, for them, the batter got too far under the ball and skied it to right field for the second baseman. It's not a great plan, and he got bit a couple of times. Chicago scores 2 on 3 hits. Both of those runs, 2 out damage, and he'll bring up John Jaso. He has a 403 average. No home runs, 5 RBI. People that program those bots must not realize that there's a delay between when I see your message and when I reply to it. Because it shows up as soon as you send it. But when you send it and I see it, is basically a 15-second delay, if that makes sense. Those are always the bots were really bad on Twitch for a while. When I was streaming on that platform. I haven't had as many problems with it, but what they'll do is they'll be like, hey, you gotta reply, you gotta say hi, you gotta do this. I'm like, I'm aware. I'm on it, idiot. hey, I noticed, like, can I join your Discord? And I'm like, no. I noticed that your channel's like a little plain. And I'm like, well, you didn't have to insult it. There's one, the relay. The turn to first for 2. And Colorado quickly down to their final out of the second inning. It's a big double play. Bill Hall steps in, a 288 average, 2 home runs, 12 RBI. You're like, I can do art for your channel. And I'm like, I don't want art for my channel. I have it how I want. And even if I did want art for my channel, I would go contact an artist. I don't need you wandering into a chat. Some grifter accidentally sent 2 of their chat bots into the chat at the same time. Like, God dang it. They're onto my game. This one is going, and gone. It's a tie game. Right after the double play. How big is that double play? It means that Colorado ties the game rather than taking the lead. Hall goes straight to dead center, 400 feet. They'll give him plus 10 on that. So 410 feet. Kind of looked like he caught his jaw on the bottom of on the top of the wall. Michael Saunders has a single home run. 8 RBI. And here comes the pitch with 2 gone. It's been a generous portion of the zone, that high outside corner. Oh and 1. That is low for a ball. One and 1. 2 gone. So a lot of 2-out damage here. That's going to be a little flare to second base. It'll be out number 3. Colorado picks up another run with a 2-out solo home run. White Sox, Francisco Rodriguez and Lowry coming up. Looking to try to retake the lead in the home half of the second. Ben Francisco, who should play for San Francisco. The wind and the pitch is inside. Gets that inside part, inside edge. Makes it 0-1. Swung on and missed. Makes it 0-2. That misses outside for a ball. 1-2. One and 2. Here's the wind and the pitch. It is a big old curveball. Thankfully for him, it misses high and outside because boy, oh boy, has that been a dangerous pitch for him to throw. And it felt like it was almost going to be a dangerous one for him to throw yet again. I mean, with how many times he got bit in the first inning, it's a little surprising to see him go back to it. And he went back to it. Lucky that the timing was off and he drove it foul. Charge. Here's the wind and the pitch. It's going to be rolled into center field. The second baseman made a dive at it. Nice effort. Probably wasn't going to be able to come up with the ball in time. And it doesn't matter because he gets into center field. Sean spells his name correctly. Rodriguez got my name spelled incorrectly yesterday at the coffee shop, so that was fun. That one's rolled foul. I can tell. I learned, because everyone has the touchpads on the thing. Because it's S-E-A-N. The S-E-A are all real close together. As soon as you start to pull, it's like a stretch run play. As soon as you start to pull your hand to go to the H, I know you're wrong. S-H-A-U-N or W. The righty winds and fires. That is hit into right field. They will send the runner just to second, playing station to station. That took like kind of a curve there into right field. White Sox looking for a late lead here, and it's going to be up to Jed Lowry to try and drive him in from second base. Feels so good not being sick. It's been a week. We're finally there. Vocals are a little shot with just how much talking I've done today. That's inside. I've already done 5 hours of recording. This will probably go to make it 7. A lot of my Sunday is spent making content. I enjoy it. Here comes the 1-0. That is swung on and missed. The righty winds and fires. It's going to be smacked into center field. Going to send the lead runner around third. The throw is way late. And it'll be safe at home. So 3-2 now. White Sox lead the Rockies. The one hitter that's going to hit from the left side of the plate against this right-handed starter for Colorado. Ryan Rayburn, ready to step in. Nobody out. This could get real ugly if the Rockies are not careful. A double play would be huge here. If you can get a double play, but you only give up one more run, you're looking at a 4-2 deficit. That's manageable. But some of these games, it feels like when you pile up those 4, 5, 6 run deficits, that makes it really difficult to come back from. Especially this late in the game. Also, the game doesn't tend to give the same team multiple big innings in a row, which is another kind of weird thing. Like, you figure once they have a good beat on the pitcher, they can start to really pile up some runs, but it is interesting to see a team struggle and go no runs, 5 runs, and then no runs again. It's an odd thing to see. 3-1 is the count. Runner in scoring position at second. That is inside for ball 4. That will load the bases. Maglio Ordonez, he has 4 home runs. You think he'd like number 5 right here with the bases packed? Ordonez takes a strike in the high inside corner. That is a portion of the zone that's been a little generous today. Seen a few pitches that look like, hey, that probably is a ball, but they're called a strike. Pitcher gets ahead 0-1. Here's the wind, and he'll roll over to the third baseman. He'll fire to second. The turn in time to first. Huge double play. The run will score. But it's a big double play. It's exactly what I talked about. If you give up one more run, but you can still turn 2, you're in an okay spot. Albert Pujols is 1 for 1 with a single. I think the issue is going to be that Pujols is a good hitter, and 2, the runner is on third. 4-2 Chicago. I'm a little surprised he didn't go home with the force out there. But I think it's the smart call. Trade 2 for 1. That is fouled away. The righty is ready. He winds and fires inside for a ball. Two and one. Here's the wind and the pitch inside, but it drifts in to get the inside. Inside edge. Makes it 2-2 instead of falling behind it at 3-1 count that you really don't want to do against Pujols. Manny Ramirez is next for the White Sox. Should this inning continue, and it will not. Swung on and missed. So the Colorado Rockies, yes, they give up 2 runs, but they come up with kind of what you're looking for in that situation. You've already given up a run. If you give up 1 more but can still turn 2, that's fine. Because as long as you can get that third out relatively quickly without giving up an additional run, you just need a bloop and a blast to keep this game going. Shane Victorino is 0 for 1. He'll look to get things started here against this White Sox starter. It is inside for a ball. That is going to be hit into left center field. That should be a leadoff double for Shane Victorino. So we have a couple of teams kind of just going back and forth here. These are the kind of games where you look at it and it's like, hey, if it goes to extras, it's not that big of a deal because you'd think there would be some form of action. It's the games where a team just sucks and they get lucky. It was, what was it, the Rays and the... I had one the other day that kind of broke me because I wasn't feeling super well. I think it was in the last episode. It was the Rays and the Padres. The Rays had like 8 hits and they only managed to score 2 runs. That is crushed right to the second baseman. That's out number 1 as the runner advances to third. If you are the Rockies, I don't think you can really trade 2 outs for a run here. I don't think a sacrifice fly is all that helpful. But we'll see what Torrey Hunter can do here. 1 for 1 with a single and an RBI. Yeah, the Rays had 2 runs on like 8 or 9 hits and just couldn't come up with that third run. And then they gave up the critical runs late to the Padres, who won in the 5th. It was a weird one. That one wasn't. That wasn't a great game. If you want to watch me break and just start losing my flipping marbles, that's a game for you. So Colorado does trade 2 outs for 1 run. White Sox let him cut the lead down to 1. Both games now have had Both games now have had the leading team lead by 2, and they've given up 1 in the final half inning. Or all they need is just the outs. 2-1 Toronto over Chicago, and now Chicago 4-3 over Colorado. Had a hard time talking lately. I'm driving myself nuts. That is well outside for a ball. Here comes the 2-0. It's in for a strike. Batter doesn't really agree with it. Looked like he got that low outside corner, but 3 overs 2-1. That's a big change for the batter. He still managed to take that right back up the middle into center field for a single. So I guess he used his irritation for the good. For good. For the good. The great or good. Mark Reynolds 0 for 1, a 306 average, 5 home runs. 17 RBI, I believe, was the number there. White Sox lead 4-3, and that is a strike at the knees. They just need 1 more out to escape with a victory and to beat a contender in the National League. Shockingly, Colorado is a contender in the National League right now. They are in the playoffs. That pitch misses low. Here comes the 1-1. That is hit. It's a no-doubter. Oh my goodness. Colorado with more 2-out damage as that hits into the right field bullpen. John Jaso. Those are runs number 3 and 4 with 2 outs for the Colorado Rockies. That gets the low outside corner. And again, the Rockies batter not particularly happy with the strike call. A back and forth game. This one's been fun. That is into left field for a single. Juan Rivera 0 for 1. I should write a little note that says that other game broke me. All right. Broke. And then this one we can write back and forth good game so far. It's been a lot of fun. Crowd implores him to swing. He does not. Takes the ball low, 1-0. Here's the wind and the pitch. Stays up high. 2-0. That is another strike on the corner where that's the third time we have seen the umpire call a strike on a corner and the Colorado Rockies batter shake his head no, that he doesn't agree with it. That one misses well outside. That one was probably the best of the three, but I think the camera angle helps us the most. The previous two were right-hand batter, low corner. And there is out number 3. The inning, mercifully, for the White Sox comes to a close. Colorado comes up with 3, including 2 on a home run into right field. An opposite field home run. Ramirez, Rolen, and Torrealba coming up, looking to swing things back in favor for the White Sox. Ramirez is 1 for 1 with a double and an RBI. So I think with the camera angle, that low inside corner to a right-handed batter is going to look a little bit worse than a high outside pitch to a right-handed batter. He's going to get that right at the letters. Again, still sticking with that curveball, which is very surprising. It's been all over the place today. It has not been a consistent pitch for him, and he's gotten hit. Hit around the park a little bit with it. That pitch is way outside. Good take by Ramirez. 1-1. That's inside. I'm a little surprised to see that Ramirez swing at that one, but able to hold it back, and the pitch is inside to make it 2-1. Bloop and a blast wins it for the White Sox. A blast can tie it. That'll be a grounder out to second base. There is out number 1. Scott Rolen's 1 for 1 with a double and an RBI. There was a spot where the White Sox just basically traded positions. They scored 2 runs, a runner on second, double score. Another runner on second, double score. Rolen will take a pitch on the outside for a ball. Just missed a little wide. That is hit into right. It'll drift out there into the glove of Torrey Hunter, and that is out number 2. So the White Sox down to their final out. In the very same game, I talked about the fact that the game doesn't typically give teams multiple, innings in a row where they score runs. Chicago, to this point, has scored 2 runs in each inning. The problem is that they gave up 3 when they, at the worst possible time. Here's the pitch. It is outside. Chicago's batters really need to be careful with that curveball. It looks really good coming out of his hand, I'm sure. And with how he's missed it, because this gets me sometimes, obviously a professional hitter, it gets me sometimes when they throw it and it misses into a certain spot, because that is going to be hit to the shortstop for out number 3. But I was wondering if they would maybe sky one, and I didn't even get to finish my thought. Colorado wins a wild one, 5-4 here in Chicago. They're down 4-2 going into the top of the third. They come up with 3 runs. They trade 2 outs for the first run, and then they get a 2-out, 2-run home run. And the White Sox will have to try again as their season is fading fast. I wonder who will be the first team eliminated. I don't want to be rude, because a big fan of theirs is a very kind supporter. It might be the Giants. I'm just saying. All right. Mark Reynolds is your player of the game, 1 for 2 with a 2-run home run. Giovanni Colorado picks up the win. He goes to 7-4. Joe Blanton was looking really good to pick up win number 2, but instead he falls to 1-8. Colorado with 2 home runs on the day. Reynolds is 6th. Hall's 3rd. The White Sox score everything inside the park. Colorado salvages the series with that win, and that was... otherwise, they're getting swept. Their ERA is at 15.43. Chicago drives in 11 runs, 8 in those first 2 games. Colorado scores 6 total runs in the entire series, and 5 of them were today. So not great, but they at least salvage a win in the series. We left off here, Cubs, Blue Jays. Cardinals over the Tigers, 2-0. Red Sox over the Braves, 1-0. Marlins take care of the Guardians 2-1. And we watched a 5-4 wild one, Rockies over the White Sox. Let's move on down to the Pirates taking on the Twins. Our third game of the afternoon. The Twins are the 7th ranked team overall, but they are not playing particularly well. And Pittsburgh is in line, or in contention for winning the National League Central, which is good for them. Let me grab this thumbnail while I remind you that this is MLB 11, the show on the PlayStation 2. We're streaming it 5 nights a week. Subscribe if you'd like more. Ring the bell. You'll be notified. Give the video a thumbs up if you're having a good time. I appreciate it. All of those are free and easy ways to help support the channel. Welcome to the Twin Cities for the Minnesota Twins. And they are 22-27. The visiting Pirates are 29-20. I think it's kind of hard to overstate how important that previous victory was for the Colorado Rockies. Pittsburgh, a good opportunity here to take care of a team that maybe they should beat just based on the record. Nick Markakis is in right field. He'll be leading off for the Pirates. Nick Johnson at first. Robinson Cano at second. Jose Batista is at third. Seth Smith is your designated hitter. Alfonso Soriano in left. Miguel Olivo at the catching position. Crispy Young, Crispy Quick in center field. And Ryan Terriot is the shortstop. Randy Wells on the mound, 2-5 with a 4.15 ERA, 9 games, 21.2 innings pitched to 28, 9, and 11 hits, walks, and strikeouts. Not a great, it's 37 hits and walks combined to just 11 strikeouts. Even if you just take the walks and the strikeout comparison, 11-9 isn't a great ratio. Nearly a 1-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. Nick Markakis is batting .260 this season. He has 2 home runs, 9 RBI, and a stolen base. We have just a bunch of field goals being scored between the Patriots and the Chargers. 9-3 your score there. That is going to be hit right back up the middle. The second baseman tries to make a dive at it, but it wasn't going to work. It'll be into center field, and it'll be a runner on first. Nick Johnson, 244, 1 home run, 3 RBI. That pitch misses well outside for a ball. Navy blue versus blacktop's not great. Not the worst uniform combination we've seen. That is hit well. But foul. Well foul. 1-1. Minnesota Twins might have the worst loss of the season. Kansas City Royals would then be the most fraudulent win of the season. In a game that ended up going, I believe, 8 innings. There's the line and the pitch. It is rolled to the second baseman. He tried to dive the first one, but wasn't going to get there. This one, I mean, it was going to be a single either way. He just tries to make a play on it. It bounces off his glove. I don't think there's anything to be too upset about. I mean, it's a single, and that's how it goes. I'm sure it's going to be marked as a hit. But Pittsburgh's off to a good start. Nobody out and a couple of hits already. That pitch misses inside. 1-0. That is, oh my goodness, absolutely annihilated out towards right center field. It is 3-0 Pittsburgh. Nobody is out, and Jose Bautista steps up. Cano, we have seen hit a couple of absolute nukes, and he's gone in to some of those higher walls. Minnesota's a stadium that I probably should like a little bit less, just with how bad some of the walls are, especially out there in right center field. Because Lord knows that I hate it in Houston and I hate it in Baltimore. But Minnesota, we just don't get as many funky. You know, the funk that we get in Minnesota is based on the light off of the batter's eye in center field. That's where the funk comes in. That's why I don't like. We had a 4-game set one time against them, and it was just 3 miserable games where, like, the first 5 innings were just like, I don't know where, I cannot see the ball. That pitch just misses outside. Normally in a 3-0 count, that is a pitch that is a ball. Or, excuse me, is a strike. They do tend to widen that zone a little bit, heighten, lower, kind of stretch it a little bit all over the place. But no luck there for the batter, or the pitcher. It's already 3-0, and Pittsburgh's looking for more. Another ball. That pitch is low. And he finally throws a strike. It's right down the middle, but it works. He's able to get it past him. That pitch is low as well. Two and one. That's inside to make it 2-2. Here comes the 2-2. That is fouled away. It's a bit of a dangerous curveball, so he's kind of higher in the zone. That's outside for a ball. Outside and low for a ball. That is outside for a ball. Okay. Boy, oh boy. This is not looking good here for the Twins. There is still nobody out. It's 3 hits including one that was a 3-run home run. And now you're talking about 2 walks. There's nobody out in a game that already doesn't look good. There's a strike. Low in the zone. That is in for a strike. It's a nice location on the inside corner. Might be the first time he's been ahead on a batter 0-2 all game long. That pitch just misses outside for a ball. 1-2. Pitcher winds and fires. Soriano drives this out towards right field. It's off the foul pole. It's another 3-run home run. 2 hits and a home run, 2 walks and a home run. Pittsburgh leads by 6, and there is no one out in the first inning. Wow. Miguel Olivo, go Mariners. Batting 206. Pardon me. Here comes the righty. Fires inside. Gets it right on the edge. 0-1. That's inside for a ball. Missed his spot on that one. You could kind of argue that that first pitch was almost so bad it was good. It looked like the catcher was set up a little more toward the outside, and then the pitch just kind of drifted in on him. We've not seen that before. I think my PlayStation 2 is falling apart at the seams. That pitch was so bad it almost broke the game. That is sliced foul up the first base line. It's outside for a ball, full count. So a payoff pitch upcoming. Here's the wind and the pitch outside for a ball. Oh my goodness. How long are the Twins going to let this pitcher struggle on the mound? Wow. Well, he'll at least look at crispy young, crispy quick. 1 stolen base, 5 home runs, 11 RBI. Six nothing Pittsburgh, nobody out here. Runner on first, and that is mercifully going to be out number 1. You know what? It honestly might be mercifully for everyone involved. Mostly for the Twins, who finally pick up an out. But the Pittsburgh Pirates have 4 hits, 3 walks, 6 runs. We'll bring up Ryan Theriot. That is to a diving third baseman, up to second. The turn to first, not in time. He is safe at first. It's good hustle. It's a great play, a great diving play at third base. And to be fair, the Pirates, or the Twins defense, hasn't had a lot of opportunities to try and make these plays. It's been, the second baseman's had a couple of dives. It was going to be a single either way. It went off his glove. It ended up being a single. Whatever. Like, it's not a problem. He dove at another pitch, the ball that got through to center field. The Pittsburgh Pirates only have 4 hits. 2 of them are home runs. The other 2 are hits, not mistakes by the defense. The problem is the Twins haven't had a lot of opportunities to make those defensive plays. Because the pitcher's given up walks or he's given up absolute nukes. That is right over the heart of the plate for a strike. You're going to put a runner in motion. He will be out. That'll retire the side, but Pittsburgh puts up a 6 spot in the top of the first. All of them with nobody out. A kind of unnecessary aggressiveness, I would argue, on the base paths. (15-3). Fowler, Utley, and Kendry Morales. I actually might need to take my headphones off here for a minute. Because of how I'm wearing my beanie, I think my headphones are crushing my ears rather than sitting around them. Minnesota Twins are going to lead off with Dexter Fowler. He is the center fielder. Chase Utley is at second. Kendry Morales is at first. Marcus Thames is the left fielder. Yadier Molina at catcher. Melvin Moore is at third. Jason Michaels in right. Yunel Escobar at the shortstop position. And the designated hitter is Lance Berkman. He is a switch hitter. So the Patriots score a touchdown. Dallas Braden, the lefty, is 5-4 with a 4.24 ERA, 9 games, 23.1 innings pitched, 24-6-9, which is not great. 30 combined hits and walks to just 9 strikeouts. You also have a 9-6 strikeout to walk ratio, which is a little too close to 1 for me. It had the same problem with the Minnesota Twins starting pitcher who had 11 strikeouts to 9 walks. And he did not pick up a strikeout. It was a caught stealing, and then a dive by the third baseman. But he issued 3 walks, so we might actually have a 12-11 walk to strikeout ratio. 1 pitch, 1 swing, 1 out. And that's a bad start for the Twins. The Twins, who gave up 6 runs before even recording an out, can't be swinging at the first pitch. That is wild. 6-0 Pittsburgh. As the lefty winds and fires. That's low. Didn't see a strike call from the umpire. My headphones are off at the moment. It was indeed a ball low. 1-0. That one's well outside for a ball. 2-0. Here's the wind and the pitch. Outside for a ball. Three and 0. I mean, if you're Pittsburgh starting pitcher, you have to be more aggressive in the zone. That's strike number 1. You have a 6-run lead. You cannot be throwing stuff outside the zone, trying to nibble on the outside. If you're going to give up a solo home run, you're going to give up a solo home run. But you also saw how aggressive they were on the very first pitch. So you can bait that into an out. That's a big swing and a miss on a pitch on the outside. 3-2 fills up the count. Here comes a payoff pitch. It's game number 3 of 4. We got Mariners Diamondbacks coming up next. Lefty is ready, winds, fires, hit up the first base line and foul. Here comes another payoff pitch. It is fouled away. We will see another one. Here's the wind. The lefty fires. That's going to be hit out towards center field. Crispy Young, Crispy Quick has the catch. Also, was Jack B. nimble, Jack B. quick? I don't know what I am talking about. I've said it to this point. There's not a whole lot of time left in the season. In game, there's a little over a month, probably about a month and a week. That's a hit up the third base line. It's going to stay fair. He'll hit first and make the big turn to second. Left fielder comes up with it, and the throw is shockingly on time but late. It's a closer play than you might anticipate. Third baseman did not have a shot at that, as he just kind of had to watch it go by. Not going to get there at all, no matter what. So let's see if they can. I mean, if Minnesota could put something together, looking for 6 runs in an inning is such a rarity in this game. But if you can pick up a couple, maybe try to get a 0. We're in that spot where the importance of putting up a goose egg from your pitching staff is of the utmost importance right now. It is as high as it could possibly get. And every run you score brings that down a little bit. That is outside for a ball. So 2-0 with 2 out, a runner on second. Twins trail big here. That one surprisingly a strike. That is not great. Here comes the 2-1. That's, boy, also a strike. Those are some very generous calls to a team that's already up big. I mean, boy, oh boy. You can make all the arguments you want about, like, hey, swing the bat, try to get things going, whatever, but I don't know. You figure one of those, as we see him swing and miss, you figure one of those has got to be a ball, and that makes it just strike 2. But the Twins pick up a hit, but can't get anything else going. A strikeout for out number 3, a first pitch swing. That was an out for out number 1. Though the second out wasn't terrible because it was a full count. Minnesota's going to leave their starter in. It is imperative that they get 0 here. And that's a pretty good start. Kind of rolls over it, but he's just too quick. He is safe. I mean, that's how it's been for Pittsburgh. They've been getting the breaks. Again, you talk about the fact that they don't have a ton of hits. The Pittsburgh Pirates have been walked 3 times already. They have 2 3-run home runs in the game. The defense for Minnesota hasn't had a lot of opportunities to be great or screw up. And the one time that they had an opportunity to be great, the third baseman made a nice stop. Lance Cormier, 19 games, a 3-2 record, 2 saves, a 4.87 ERA, 20.1 innings pitched, 8 walks, 12 strikeouts. As they finally get into the bullpen, thought they probably should have done that 1 out ago, but I think you just try to see if he can hold it, if he can get them another inning, if he can try and figure something out, navigate a 6-0 deficit without giving up too much more damage. But it was next hit, you were gone, man. Left fielder was chasing, just barely makes it into the frame by the time he gets, by the time the ball hits the warning track. And it's 0-1. That is going to be dumped into right field. Should just be a single. It will. Or they will work station to station. Lead runner heads to second. And the Pirates are in business still. Nobody out. And those are the kinds of plays that we've been seeing from Pittsburgh all day. Just well-struck balls where the defense has no shot to get there. Robinson Cano's already 1 for 1 today with a 3-run home run, and it was an absolute moonshot. Boy, oh boy. I do not envy being in this position at all. I believe Pittsburgh has one of the most scored a run. That's low. They do not. Or I at least did not write it down. That pitch misses low for a ball. And that's fouled away. 1-2 to Cano. Cano takes that inside for a ball. Two and two with 2 on. Here's the wind and the pitch. That is right back up the middle. The shortstop can't come up with it. The runners advance and the throw is late. Wasn't exactly Cormier's fault, but Jose Batista. Pete Watt came around to score on a 3-run home run. That's right, there are 2 3-run home runs scored in this game. The righty gives up the hit, and that might be it. That is a grand slam. The 3rd home run of the day is from Jose Batista, and it is, break out the rye bread and mustard, Grandma. It's grand salami time. It is 10-0. Pittsburgh is absolutely crushing the Minnesota Twins. And here's the fun fact about it. Every single one of their runs has been scored without a single out on the board. Minnesota comes up with an out there. So we can already put them on the leaderboard that I have. That's not particularly accurate. The Cubs and the Marlins have both scored 10. We could put the Pirates on there. May 30 in game. A 10 spot. And boy, oh boy. They might not be done yet. They had a really big game at one point, but they might have also just had 6 runs, and I just didn't write it down, or it didn't match. Didn't matter. That is an out. Soriano might have been the other guy who had the 3-run home run. I forget exactly. If he is the 6-hole hitter, then it was him. It must have been. Miguel Oliva worked a walk. He's batting 206. This is where things get kind of funky because we have games sometimes that take 4, 5, 6 innings. They're extra inning games, and they'll take less time than a game that goes regulation but has a lot of runs scored. We had 9 runs scored total in the previous game. Pittsburgh's outdone both of them by themselves. That's outside for a ball. That is outside for a ball. That's in for a strike. Three and one. That is, just gets the outside edge for the strike. Makes it 3-2. Here comes a payoff pitch from the righty. And that's fouled away. Foul ball. 3-2 is low for a ball, so Oliva will work his second walk of the day. And they'll have to come out and talk to a different pitcher. What's going on with the Twins today? Chris B. Young, Chris B. Quick. 271 average, 0 for 1 today. That's outside for a ball. Makes it 1-0. 2 gone with a runner on first. Here's the wind and the pitch inside. Pittsburgh's third and final out in the last inning was a caught stealing. And again, they have 10 runs. All 10 of them have been scored when there has been no one out. They have not recorded a run with an out registered. That one stays outside as well. This Minnesota Twins pitching staff just cannot figure out how to find the strike zone or find it consistently. They fall behind this batter yet again. 3-0, and that is way too easy. It's just entirely too easy for him to just take that pitch. Ryan Theriot. 2 on and 2 out. With a massive lead in the second, the broken bat fouls the ball away. And that's fouled away as well. Looked like it jammed him, but he's still able to get a pretty good swing on the ball and drives it into the stands up the third base line. It's 0-2. Pitcher nods his head. Here's the pitch. It's way outside. Nice take. Sometimes you see these batters get into a bit of an auto swing mode and they strike out on real bad pitches. Lord knows I've been there, no judgment. Here's the 1-2. It is low. Here comes the 2-2 from the righty. Winds and fires. It's going to be rolled over to the shortstop. He scoops it cleanly and fires over to first in time for the out. Minnesota gets out of it, but not before Pittsburgh puts on another 4. It is 10 runs on 8 hits. Molina, Mora, and Michaels coming up for Minnesota. Oh, and the Pittsburgh Pirates, by the way, they get to bat again, so they can add to this. Our current high score, if you're looking for a reason to watch, 13 runs by the Cardinals on the 4th day of the season, April 4th. That is the highest number of runs we have scored in a game, scored in a game, and that was a game where they scored 10 in one inning, 9 or 10, something like that. Pittsburgh currently tied for second, with the Cubs on May 13th, the Marlins on May 12th, and one ahead of the Orioles on that same May 12th. That'll get the inside edge for a strike. Unfortunately for us, the away team is the team that's up big, so we do have to watch the Twins bat a third time. And that is rolled over to the second baseman. He bobbles it, but able to pick it up. I mean, that's the one spot where that bobble can not absolutely kill your chance of getting it out. It is funny when they play that little, sound effect of haha, you missed it, and then they still get the out anyway. That is low and outside. The lefty winds and fires, swung on and missed. And that's low for a ball. 2-1. And, ooh, I thought the third baseman was going to get a grab on it, but gets it just over the glove. It'll be a single into left field. Can the Twins do the improbable? Jason Michaels is batting .250. Home run and 4 RBI. Pittsburgh's going to be an interesting matchup if they can make it into the playoffs. They're in kind of a crowded NL Central at the moment. We talked a little bit about that during the Cubs game. The NL East is also providing some issues for a second NL Central team to get into the playoffs. And all of a sudden the NL West is doing the same thing. And the NL East and the West have been two divisions that have been largely dominated by one team. The Central's been a jumble for a while, but the Phillies and the Rockies, leaders in the East and the West respectively, as that is flip to second, turn to first in time, and that will do it. It'll remain 10-0. Markakis, Johnson, and Cano, the top of the lineup for Pittsburgh, 10-0. So let's take a look at the playoff picture. Actually, today might be a good day to do that as the series end for all the teams. Twins will go back to the bullpen. They are going to bring in a right-handed pitcher. This is Denny Bautista. Yeah, Bautista, okay. 2 games with an 0-2 record. That disappeared real quick. Let's see. 2 games, 0-2 record, no saves, a 13.5 ERA with 1.1 innings pitched, no walks, 2 strikeouts. That is what you would call bad. If you are looking for a way for the Pittsburgh Pirates to potentially beat the record for runs this season, bring in a pitcher with a 13-plus ERA certainly sounds like the way to do it. That stays way upstairs, 2-0. Here's the right-handers. Pitch, he gets the low outside corner. Two and one. Righty winds and fires. Foul ball. The graphics are so bad? Yeah, they are. The graphics are bad. The gameplay's not good. It's just it's a beautiful little thing called the PlayStation 2, huh? That is sky high in the air. Foul territory up the third base line, and that is an out. Nick Johnson coming in now for his stat line. 2 for 2, 2 singles, 2 runs. Now, for all the runs that the Pittsburgh Pirates have scored, they have not put a run across with an out on the board. That will continue here. Score 6 runs in the first before recording a single out. They scored 4 runs in the second before recording an out. Cano's 2 for 2 with a home run, 3 RBI. He's scored twice. I feel like I reverse jinxed the game. They brought in this pitcher with a 13-plus ERA, and he's been the most effective pitcher yet for the Twins. Inside for a ball. Cano with a monster 3-run shot to get things started in the top of the first. That one is foul at the first base line. 1-1. That's foul at the third base line. And that misses. Inside. 2-2 the count with 2 gone. Top 3 in a blowout. One more game to go after this. Mariners and Diamondbacks. That's way outside. It's a little unfortunate this game has been decided for so long. Coming off a real fun one. Chicago taking on Colorado. That is outside. Can LA scored 2 touchdowns in the last 2 minutes, or will New England hold on for the win? New England will hold on for the win. But it's not the Green Bay Packers out there putting out the worst defensive showing you could ask for. That's inside for a strike. God, only 2 timeouts, too. So 4th and 9. Herbert's getting outplayed by Drake May. So great. The Patriots stumble into another franchise quarterback. Fun. It's good for all of us. God, if they could have scored before the 2-minute warning, maybe. You get the 2-minute warning. You burn 2 timeouts. That is hit out towards left center field. That is, off the top of the wall. Pittsburgh is looking to score their first run with outs on the board, and they will slide in safely. 11-0 Pittsburgh here. So a 158. $155? Okay. Oh, that's it. Game's over. 4th and 9. Can't come up with it. 4th and 9. He's sacked on the New England 43 for -9 yards. Dang. Well, I guess it was a good season there, Los Angeles. Or was it? I don't know. I feel like the Chargers kind of weren't a story. Yeah, so they won 11 games. So. That is upstairs for a ball. So that means that the Patriots, they were the 2 seed, right? So they will host the Bills next week. And that'll be rolled to the shortstop, walks over it. It's going to go into center field. Oh, no. He is safe at home. 12-0. They are 1 run away from tying the most runs we've seen all season. That is a brutal animation for this Minnesota Twins defense. You think that the graphics are ugly in this game, boy? The gameplay is not much better. For reasons exactly like that. Alfonso Soriano 1 for 2, a 3-run home run earlier today. See if he can put one more swing on the ball. He can. It's foul. If he puts one more good swing on the ball, he can vault them into first place. So we will take that. We will cut it. We'll put that there and improve the number to 12. Second most runs scored. That is going to roll all the way to the wall. It'll be a double. Will they send the runner around third? They will not. So 2 runs in scoring position. A single should tie the game. Might even, or tie the record. Might even break the record. They can put it out into the outfield like that. Miguel Olivo, 0 for 0. He has worked 2 walks today. That is low for a ball. No, Denver hosts New England. No, Denver hosts Buffalo. New England hosts the winner. Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. That'll be a swing and a miss. So Buffalo will go to the AFC Championship game. It's just that Buffalo can't go home because they're the 6. And that is off the glove. Oh my goodness. The right fielder is so slow to go get the ball. That's the record, 14-0. It's the most runs we've seen all season. Oh my goodness. I complimented this Twins team earlier because their defense was trying to make plays, but they hadn't had a lot of opportunities. They've absolutely fallen apart. That is off the glove. Man, did Denver play Buffalo this year? That is low for a ball. That's the most lopsided game of the weekend so far. Which I guess is good news for them. That's upstairs. They could have hosted the AFC Championship only and if only LA won tonight. Yeah. That is a foul ball. So the Bills, they... Oh, they have not played the Broncos this year. And they will call strike 3 on Crispy Young. 14 runs on 12 hits. Minnesota's last chance, Escobar, Berkman, and Fowler coming up. And Pittsburgh is your current leaderboard for runs scored in the game, 14. That will get looped into right field. All the way to the wall. So it's a leadoff double for the Twins. Comeback starts now. Comeback starts right now. Mark it down. Bottom of the third, down by 14 runs, 2 touchdowns. Lance Berkman. Lefty. Ooh. Gets him to swing on a pitch up high. Second baseman makes the catch, and there is out number 1. Dexter Fowler's 0 for 1 with a .292 average this season. He has a home run and some RBI there. A 6, I believe. That is going to be out number 2. Baltimore did play New England and Pitt, but lost all 3 games by less than 2 touchdowns total. Damn. God. Oh, if only the Ravens were in the playoffs instead of the stupid Steelers. Just the worst. Ugh, just a horrible kick. That's fouled away. Special teams really proving to be a thorn in some teams' side, including the Packers and the Ravens over the last couple of weeks. That is going to be into left field. Going to roll all the way to the wall. Minnesota's going to score 1 and put a runner in scoring position as the throw goes into second. Safe. How are we feeling about John Harbaugh's firing for the Baltimore Ravens? 18 years. Kendry Morales is 1 for 1 with a double. Here's the lefty. That is outside for a ball. One and 0 with 2 outs. Here's the wind and the pitch inside for a ball. And he is going to get that low inside corner for a strike. That is high and outside for a ball. And he'll get the inside part of the plate for a strike. Off the end of the bat and rolls it foul at the third base line. We'll do it again. It's a full count. 14-1. Minnesota at least putting up a little bit of a fight here in the bottom of the third. 2 outs. Twins down to their final strike. The appeal down to first. He is out. On a check swing. I think that umpire was ready to go. I got dinner reservations. You're down by 13. Maybe you should have decided to suck a little less earlier in the game. Pittsburgh puts up the most runs we've seen. The most runs we've seen, and maybe the most runs just kind of in general. I don't think we see a lot of anomalies as far as the runs scored are concerned. But Minnesota gets absolutely demolished. Jose Bautista 2 for 2, a home run, a double. Dallas Braden gets the win to improve to 6-4. Randy Wells falls to 2-6. Cano's 5th. Batista 2nd. Soriano's 4th. And that will do it. Let's look at the box score real quick. The first 7 batters each had a hit. Batista 5 RBI, 2 hits. Wow. Pittsburgh sweeps, averaging .426, 54 at-bats, 23 hits, 4 runs, 22 RBI. That number is pretty skewed because of, 14 runs, 2 stolen bases. The Minnesota Twins pitch 11 total innings, 17-18 ERA. Each team pitches 11 innings, so one of these games went to extras. Right? 3-6-9. Yeah. Either one went to 2 innings of extra, or the other 2 games went to 1 inning of extra innings. Whatever. Let's see. The Royals over the Reds 1-0. And we watched that 14-1 game. We will skip all the way to the bottom here. Diamondbacks and Mariners. I'm not playing. Oh, here's a look at your wild card standings. The Phillies are 30-20. The Astros 28-21, a game and a half back. The Braves 3 games back. The Diamondbacks 4 games back. And you have the Cubs and the Padres. So, big win for the Pittsburgh Pirates to give themselves a little bit of space. They would lead the NL Central now by at least a half game. But I forget exactly what their record was. While we're loading into Seattle, thanks for hanging out. If you're enjoying it, hit that thumbs up. Helps the channel. Free, easy way to support it. Subscribing is also an option as well. Ringing the bell, all that good stuff. Both teams with 26 wins. The Diamondbacks have 2 extra losses. 26-24 Arizona, 26-22 Seattle. To round us out today, both teams probably need this win. Arizona might need it a little bit more as they're trying to chase down the Colorado Rockies in the NL Central. David DeJesus is the right fielder. He will be leading things off from the left-hand side of the plate. Chipper Jones is at third. Joey Votto at first. Jason Bay in left. Curtis Granderson in center. Matt Wieters at catcher. Brian Pena is the designated hitter. Freddie Sanchez at second. Jamie Carroll, I apologize, is the shortstop. Mariners coming off a bit of a rough road stretch where they went to Florida and I think got swept, if I remember correctly. And their lead has really shrunk in the AL Central, or left. What? AL West. Jurgens, 4-2, a 5.92 ERA, 9 games, 24.1 innings pitched, 33-10 and 12 hits, walks, and strikeouts. Not a great walks to strikeouts ratio or strikeouts to walk ratio. Not a great combined. The Mariners pitching is at the bottom of the league. I think it's at 29th. So we'll see if they can hold it together. We watched them kind of blow a game the other day, so that's fun. The first pitch of the game is a ball. Ball's behind 1-0. Righty misses low again, 2-0. Not the start you're looking for. We saw walks be a problem for the Minnesota Twins, and they got absolutely blown apart. Gotta find the strike zone here. Here comes the 2-0. It is just outside for a ball, 3-0. That's fouled away. Three and one. Swung on and missed to fill up the counts. Jammed him on the inside. Now looking for a strikeout or just an out in general on a payoff pitch. Shakes his head positively. Pitcher winds and fires, rolls that over, and they... Okay, weird. We saw one of the funkier kind of hits right back to the pitcher, where the game did not give the team, I believe it was the Chicago Cubs, didn't give them the pitcher obtaining the ball, and throwing to first like that animation. That time, Jurgens glides to his left and makes the out. So Arizona with Chipper Jones, who fouls that one away for strike one. That's low and misses the catcher all the way to the backstop. 1-1. It's a strike on the outside. That is outside and low for a ball. 2-2. And swung on and missed. So Jones sat down on strikes. Jurgens not the most consistent in the strike zone. The balls have been a little all over the place, but able to get weak contact and jam Chipper Jones inside. And able to set both of them down. Joey Votto's batting .347, 3 home runs, 15 RBI. Does have a stolen base as well. Righty fires, and Joey Votto just can't get the timing right. It was well struck, but foul. 0-1. Long strike. Thought about swinging, able to hold it back on a pitch well outside. 1-1. Mariners lineup's going to be interesting to see if they have Brett Gardner in. If it's a lefty starting pitcher for the Diamondbacks, they will not have him leading off. He makes this Mariners lineup interesting because they put him at the top of the lineup. If Gardner gets on, they like to put him in motion to steal bases. I think that would benefit a team at home a little more than benefiting a team on the road. That is hit well out to left field. The left fielder is chasing it. It does not matter. It's into the bullpen. 2-out damage for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and Jurgens was able to survive the first couple of batters. Does not survive Joey Votto, as that one is crushed out to left field. .373 majestic feet We'll bring up Jason Bay. 342 average, 5 home runs, 18 RBI. 2 stolen bases. Whew, and almost gave up another loud one. Votto was on the first pitch as well. Just the little timing, or the timing was a little bit off. But did hit it well foul. Led to a home run. That is a well-hit foul ball. Well, let's hope it doesn't lead to a home run. I mean, impartial or unbiased. Impartial's right. Impartial commentator here, just rooting for a good game, but also at the same time, go Mariners. Jurgens winds and fires. That one gets the top of the zone. Didn't think that was going to be a strike, but some of those corners have been a little loose all game or all day long. Like today on May 30th in game, they just go, you know what, the strike zone, make it wild. Doesn't matter. That is a rolled over foul. Here comes the 1-2, swung on and missed. So, Jurgens is able to put up a couple of strikeouts, survive the first couple hitters, unfortunately gives up the solo shot. We'll have a right-handed pitcher for the Diamondbacks, as it will be. Darn, I was off. That was off. I was late. Darn it. Brett Gardner is in left field. Kurt Suzuki is your catcher. Ichiro in right. Aramis Ramirez at third. Travis Hafner's at first. Brett Wallace, the designated hitter. Reed Brignac is the shortstop. Ian Kinsler at second. Milky Cabrera in center. They really like putting Gardner in motion, so... And then that little lefty lane can be good for the Mariners at times. Even against the lefty pitcher. They did it against Detroit earlier in the season. Starting pitcher is Kelvin Escobar, a 16.20 ERA. No wins, 1 loss. 1 game, 1.2 innings pitched, 2.33 hits, walks, and strikeouts. Is he 2.33? So 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, and a couple of hits. A 16.2 ERA. So maybe that widens the eyes a little too much. You go like, oh, here it is. Time to get a hold of it and crush it. Here's the wind and the pitch. Ooh, he thought about it. Yeah, he went that one, definitely. Even from our vantage point, kind of looked like he wasn't able to hold it back. And that is one of the more funky ones, or it has just like a little oddness to the swing. Gardner will hit that to the shortstop, scoops it cleanly, and fires over to first. 1 up, 1 down for Seattle. Kurt Suzuki, 300 average. Ooh, boy, that looked like a very hittable pitch. I would guess that Kurt Suzuki would want that one back. It's 0-1. And he'll foul that one away, 0-2. I think that one might have gotten him a little bit. The catcher was set up on the outside, and that pitch just wasn't super great as it broke back over the middle of the plate. That one might have been, you might want to maybe flip the swings there. Try to go for it on that first pitch, because that one looked pretty hittable. And let that second one go. Good job to let that one stay outside. 1-2. And that pitch stays outside to make it 2-2. The righty fires, and it's fouled away by Suzuki. That is outside for a ball. Three and two, and Suzuki swings and misses at a pitch on the outside. So it'll be a strikeout. Two away quickly here. That one was right on the edge, so not terrible. Just early on the 95-mile-an-hour four seam. Just looking to get a piece of it. Hope it goes foul. And it'll bring up Ichiro. 296 average for him. 1 home run, 8 RBI. 3 stolen bases on the year. That one drifts back over the middle of the plate. Second time we've seen that catcher way inside or to Suzuki way outside. Like that left-handed batter's box, I want to just drift over. Ichiro fouls that one off. It's 0-2. The pitcher with a 16 ERA surviving the first couple of Mariners batters here. Ichiro fouls that one off the end of the bat yet again. We'll see another 0-2. Here's the wind and the pitch. Oh my goodness. Gets the outside corner. That spot has been generous all day long. Granderson, Wieters, and Pena coming up for the Diamondbacks as Ichiro takes a look at strike number 3. I mean, that spot has been generous. No joke or dramatization all day long. So it's going to be up to Jurgens to try to minimize the damage here. Arizona leads 1-0. That one's well inside. Moves the feet a little bit, but is a ball. That's inside for a strike. That's outside for a ball. That is hit toward right field. Got a little under it and skies it to Ichiro. Makes the easy grab, and it's one gone here. There he is. The recently number retired Ichiro. Here's the wind and the pitch. It's going to be rolled back up the middle. A sliding stop. Throws in time to first. It's a nice defensive play there. And again, this pitcher who's been a little wild, Jurgens, hasn't looked great. He's able to induce a couple of easy outs for the first 2 outs. Let's see if he can get out number 3 without anything extra. Couldn't get past Joey Votto last time. This time it'll be Brian Pena. Looking to be the third and final out of the inning. That is outside for a ball. Now, we have seen a couple of games here for the Seattle Mariners. There was one with against the Oakland Athletics where 1 run was enough in this stadium to beat that team. It was a Vlad Guerrero solo home run to the opposite field after they chanted overrated at him. That one was almost a pitch that was so bad it almost was awful. It was a weird duck. Mercifully, everyone's okay. Everyone's digital versions are okay. And it's just 2-0. 2 gone. On the top of the second as that one's rolled foul up the first base line. Ooh, doesn't get the call on that. Might have been a little more outside than I realized, but that corner of the zone has been a little generous today. And that looked like a strike to me, even taking a look at it on the YouTube replay. Ooh, almost gives up another long swing, but foul. Full count here with 2 gone in the top of the second. Jurgens winds and fires. It's rolled over. First baseman picks it up, makes the adjustment, and steps on the bag for out number 3. Still just the 1 run on 1 hit. Ramirez, Hafner, and Wallace are going to be the next batters for the Seattle Mariners as we head to the home half of the second. Aramis Ramirez at .254 average. That is a strike on the outside. Swung on and missed. We get 0-2 already? Boy, quickly 0-2. Seattle's been a little passive on some pitches that are not great but are working for this Arizona Diamondbacks starter. And then he's throwing pitches that they're swinging and missing for pitch number 2, and they're very quickly falling behind 0-2 in a consistent manner. Rolls over that one, and it's 1 away. They have done absolutely nothing. And you can make the argument it's 1 good swing, 1 bad pitch, 1 good swing, maybe a little bit of both, for the Diamondbacks to have a 1-0 lead. Otherwise, you're talking about a couple of very inept offenses, but Joey Votto was able to take advantage of a bad pitch. Mariners have been, until this swing, pretty passive on the first pitch, and of course that was maybe the worst first pitch of an at-bat he's thrown all day. And that's when Hafner decides to get aggressive. 0-1 with 1 gone. That's rolled over. Jeez Louise. The dude has a 16 ERA. He's somehow managed to find the zone all day long and induce just incredibly weak contact from this Mariners team. That's rolled over foul. Here's the righty. He readies, winds, and fires. That is foul. Here comes the 0-2. That's inside. 1-2. 2 gone here already for the Mariners. 1-0 game. That one stays upstairs. Good take to make it 2-2. Righty readies, winds, fires. That's rolled to the shortstop. That should do it, and it does. Out number 3. The Mariners still without a hit. Though Arizona only has 1, it just went all the way out of the yard. Sanchez, Carroll, and De Jesus coming up for the Diamondbacks. Freddie Sanchez has 13 RBI with 4 home runs. A little under 400 for the average. Pitcher shakes his head, readies, winds, and fires. That is rolled in front of home plate. The catcher comes up with it, fires to first in time for the out. We'll have a batch of scores to catch up on. Then we'll go ahead and take a look at the standings as everybody's done with their current series. And hopefully that will provide us with some plot lines for the final month and 5 days or so. 30, 35 regular season days. Pitch is in for a strike at the high inside corner. I do know the Mariners finished up the season with a 4-game set against the Toronto Blue Jays. With how both of those teams have been playing, it could be for the spot in the wild card, the American League wild card spot. Swung on and missed. And I think there are very few, if any, division series left. There is one more. Diamondbacks and Padres, I believe, in the National League West. Otherwise, it's going to be a lot of in-division stuff. Third baseman didn't even try to get a hold of that one. Feels like he should have been able to. It's going to be a single into left field. We saw a play earlier where the ball was a little tighter to the foul line and the third baseman didn't make a move, and made sense because he wasn't probably going to get it. That one wasn't too far away. But sometimes the game just does that, where it just does not compute correctly, or whatever the problem is. The beautiful, beautiful PlayStation 2. Kind of letting us down at times. That is a strike on the outside corner. Don't know about that one, but it has been a generous location all game, or all day long. That is hit into center field. The runner will just stop at second. I wonder if, because now the lineup is flipped over for the Diamondbacks, if they have a better read on Jurgens and what he wants to do. He's been inconsistent all day. He was able to get Chipper Jones to strike out, but we'll see what happens with that bat number 2. 2 on, 1 out. A 1-0 game. Top 3. That is swung on and missed. And that misses low for a ball. Good take from Chipper Jones. I guess I just never realized was a switch hitter. Righty winds and fires. They are going to put the runners in motion. It pulls the first baseman completely out of position. It's going to score a run. It'll put runners on the corners. I don't know why the first baseman would do that. He should have been in position to make that play. I can understand if they put the runners in motion and the second baseman moves. We've seen that happen to us a couple of times during the MLB The Show, franchise mode stuff that we do. But again, this game is just a little weird. 1-0 with 1 out. Runners on the corners. And that will be a catch. Might have almost wanted that to be a drop just so that it would be a double play. This game does not like rewarding teams for getting 1 out at a time. 2-0 Arizona in the top of the third. 2 gone. Runners on the corners, and that will be up the third baseline. It's right on cue. If you only get 1 out at a time, this game will punish you. You do not do that. You will be punished for what the game does not allow you to do. We did see Seattle win one of the weirder games we've seen in St. Louis, thanks to some funk with the game itself. Like, hey, sometimes the ball just goes through a glove. That gets the outside corner. Seattle really needs to get out of this with just giving up a couple extra runs. It's 3-0. Their team hasn't done anything, so you kind of just it was a thing, too, where I looked at it and I saw the 16.2 ERA and I went, the Mariners are going to get shut out somehow. And they are on track for that. Ichiro comes in to make the catch in right field, and that will do it. That'll retire the side, but not before Arizona picks up 4 hits, 3 runs. It'll be up to Brainiac, Kinsler, and Cabrera to try and keep things going here for the Mariners, who are hitless through 2 against a pitcher with a monster ERA. Reed Brainiac stepping up here. He'll take a strike at the knees, 0-1. All right, let's see. Brainiac right to the first baseman. He knows how to make the play. Tosses to the pitcher covering, and that is out number 1. So 49ers Seahawks on Saturday at 1:30 or 5 p.m. And then the Bears Rams will be Sunday. Interesting. Here's the wind and the pitch. It'll be all the way to the backstop. I mean, how is that not the 5:30 primetime game? That's inside for a ball. That misses and goes to the backstop. So 3-0 with 1 gone. Got to be hands off the controller, and that will be ball 4. So, first Mariners base runner of the afternoon or evening comes via the walk. Escobar is not happy with that call, even though, I mean, he's been good. I can understand how you would maybe think you earned those strikes, those strike calls, but you're not owed a strike now because you were good earlier. If you threw 4 balls, you threw 4 balls. So Kinsler steps up. He'll take a pitch way inside. Almost gets hit, but doesn't. Game kind of just arbitrarily decides when a guy gets hit or not. We've seen it literally go through like through the chest, and it just goes, nah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. That is outside for a ball, so all of a sudden the pitcher for Escobar for the Diamondbacks coming a little unraveled here. That is a strike. Finally gets back in the zone. It was 6 straight balls before he threw that strike. 2-1 now. That pitch inside, good. Take 3-1. Gets the strike right down the middle. Full count. Runner on first. Got to put him in motion. He just stood there and took it. It was like it was Melky Cabrera. If I said Ian Kinsler, I apologize. That's a strike. Maybe it's a little low. You can't leave your at-bat to the umpire. What are you doing? Oh my God. This game is infuriating to watch sometimes. Like, the pitches that they choose to swing at, and they're like, don't worry, this one will be a ball. 2 outs for Seattle. Gardner takes a strike. Top part of the zone. And Gardner rolls over that one. He might have the speed. He does not. Seattle gets no hit by a pitcher with a 16+ ERA. They did absolutely nothing. The swings were horrible. They routinely just drove it into the ground. Arizona got to the second time through the order, and that is where things start to get a little more difficult for the pitchers. And the Mariners fall in this one 3-0. Kelvin Escobar drops that ERA all the way down to 5.79. 2 hits on the season, 6 strikeouts. He had half of them today. 3 innings, no hits, 6 strikeouts. And he improves to 1-1. Jair Jurgens falls to 4-3. Votto's 4th home run in the top of the first put the Diamondbacks, gave them a lead that they did not relinquish. Arizona wins the rubber match. Seattle's offense was pretty awful at 184. Diamondbacks batted over 300. Yeah. That'll do it. That is our 4th and final game. Let's catch up on some scores. Let's see. Arizona, they beat Arizona 5-3, then they lost 1-0. Okay. 14-1 was where we left off. The Athletics win 3-0 over the Astros. The Phillies over the Brewers 1-0. Mets over the Angels 1-0. That's a good win for the Mariners. The Dodgers over the Yankees 3-1. Padres over the Rays 4-2. Rangers beat the Giants 4-0, and we saw the Diamondbacks beat the Mariners 3-0. Let's sim to tomorrow. It'll be the Mariners taking on the Twins and other actions. A 4-game set for Seattle and Minnesota. Around the league, let's take a look at the standings real quick. We'll start in the National League East. Marlins are 31-19. They have usurped the Phillies for first place. 31-19. Phillies are 30-20. They're a game back. The Braves are 27-23. They're 4 behind. Nationals and Mets pretty out of it. 24-27, 23-26 respectively. Again, if you take a look at that Mets record, if you split that 0-6 start, you can flip that record. Basically, it's 20. They'd be 23-26, or 26-23 rather than 23-26. They'd still be out of it, but it'd be more interesting. In the Central, it was crowded between the Reds, Cubs, Astros, and Pirates, but it's separated a little bit, and the Brewers have been playing much better baseball as of late, though they are on an L2. Pirates lead with a 30-20 record. They're a game and a half up on the Astros, who are 28-21. The Cubs are a game over 500 at 26-25. Brewers 2 games under 500 at 24-26. The Reds are 23-27, and the Cardinals 19-31. Out in the West, the Rockies are on top. They weren't quite there, but the Rockies and Diamondbacks have gotten a lot closer. The Rockies still lead 28-23. The Diamondbacks are 27-24. The Padres are 25-26. The Dodgers are 24-25, and the Giants are 18-32. So it'll be the Giants and the Cardinals in the National League who will likely be the first eliminated from postseason contention. In the wild card, the Phillies, who are 30-20, lead by a game and a half over the Astros, and then the Braves, Diamondbacks, Cubs, I would say, they're a game over 500, and they have a +18 run differential, which is kind of wild. We'll stop it there at 4.5 games back of the wild card. Flipping over to the American League side of things, the Yankees have been good, and they've been good all season. They're 30-19. They lead the American League East by 5 games. They're over the 25-24 Blue Jays. The Orioles are 24-27. The Rays 22-26. The Red Sox 21-29. In the Central, it's the Guardians 28-21, a half game up on the Royals, who are 28-22. Tigers, Twins, White Sox, all under 500. 23-27 for the Twins, or the Tigers. 22-28 for the Twins. 20-29 for the White Sox. And in the American League West, the Mariners are up a game and a half over the Angels. They have a record of 26-23. The Angels are back at 25-25. The Athletics are 24-25, and the Rangers 22-27. Mariners on an L2, and they have actually been outscored by 4, even though they have a 3-game over 500 record. If the Angels can catch, or the Athletics are only 2 games back, it would make an interesting race for the American League wild card, which is currently led by the Royals. The American League Central, more than I realize, is going to throw a wrench into that system. I was thinking that it might be Mariners Blue Jays for that one spot in the wild card, but it is currently the Royals on top with a 28-22 record. You can throw the Blue Jays, Angels, Athletics, Orioles, but the 2 of those teams are under 500, so I don't know if I really believe in that. And there is a pretty considerable gap between the Royals and the Blue Jays, even going into that that gap right there. Whereas the National League wildcard's a game and a half. Do the Blue Jays and the Royals play, or the... Where's the Blue Jays? Toronto. Oh, God. Huge 3-game set between them and Kansas City. We will write them down for tomorrow. Toronto and Kansas City. That'll be a game that we absolutely watch. Blue Jays at Royals. Toronto with an excellent opportunity to drag Kansas City back to them and make that wild card matchup real interesting. And they play them again. Oh, my goodness. Cool. Well, that works out well for me. That's the storyline that we're looking for. I'll dig around to find some other storylines. We'll go ahead and pop a save in save slot number 8. Forgot where the save was. And I will thank you for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Streaming this 5 nights a week. We'll be back tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pacific time, for more baseball here on youtube.com/ShaunosaurusRex, 6 p.m. Pacific, if I didn't mention that. Be sure to give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you'd like more. Ring the bell. You can be notified when I post new videos. Come in, hang out, lurk. Lurkers, the backbones of every stream. I appreciate people who chat and all that stuff, but even just having it on in the background while you're doing other stuff is helpful and does mean a lot to me. That is saved. We are ready to roll. Thank you again so much for watching. We'll find some other storylines, but look forward to a big series between the Royals and the Blue Jays. They got 2 of them over the next couple of weeks, and that should be fun. Next week plus. So that should be a good time. Thank you again so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoy it, and we will catch you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your night, everybody. Bye.